Your dog has this persistent, dry, goose honking cough. The most common cause, especially in our small breeds, it's called tracheal collapse. This video is an update, specifically what tracheal collapse is, some of the new and surprisingly effective home remedies.
Are you looking to learn more about natural pet health and wellness? You've come to the right place. Click the link to subscribe to Veterinary Secrets.
Hello, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. Click up there to subscribe, hit the bell to sign up for notifications, and when you click that link directly in the box below, I can send you a copy of my free book. The trachea, it's the tube located right here underneath your neck, connecting the throat to the lungs. It's made up of these rings of cartilage, and it kind of looks like this plastic tube here. And this is actually a great example of what a normal trachea is. It's a fairly firm, rigid tube, but it's all supported by these pretty firm, rigid rings. When I squeeze on the outside of this ring, look at that. Hardly collapses in. Very much push on your own trachea. You're going to have the same experience. And that's what a normal trachea should be, and that's how a normal trachea should respond. But in tracheal collapse, the cartilaginous rings, they become weak and floppy. So imagine the end of this tube here. Here's like a weakened cartilaginous ring, a weakened trachea. When you squish on it, see what happens? It completely folds in on itself. It's collapsing in. And that's what we're seeing in our dogs that have tracheal collapse. They take the breath in, the cartilaginous rings, they collapse in on themselves. So they start coughing. Irritation of the airway compressing in on itself. More often occurs in the smaller breeds, Chihuahuas, Pomeranians, Shih Tzus, Lhasa Apsos, Poodles, and the Yorkshire Terriers. Their underlying cause, there may be some genetic correlation. It's more common in these smaller breeds. There may be an autoimmune thing going on in the immune system. It's attacking these little cartilages. They get weaker. The airway collapses in on itself. The most common clinical sign you're going to see is a persistent, dry, hacking, goose honking cough. And this is something that I regularly see from Tula. She also has some degree of tracheal collapse. If your dog has this persistent cough, first see your veterinarian, get an appropriate workup, including chest x-rays. In many cases, you can see a pretty narrowed airway, this thin windpipe, essentially making the diagnosis for you. But holistically, what can you do for treatment? First and foremost, there's the common sense things. Do less things is going to irritate this damaged airway. If your dog is wearing a collar, get rid of a collar, use a harness. You don't want them pulling on that collar, causing them to choke. Minimize irritants in your house. They're going to affect the airway, i.e., make sure there's no smoking in your house. Make sure that you're not using some of these toxic cleaners that aerosolize. They're going to irritate the airway. Invest in some type of air purifier. You want the air as clean as possible. But as far as specific remedies that can help, decrease the coughing, make your dog more comfortable, we're going to focus on 4 primary things. Number 1, symptomatic cough relief. There are 2 key ingredients to help our dog symptomatically with cough that be given long term. Number 1, this is darker unpasteurized honey. Number 2, the wonderfully safe and effective anti-cough herb. This is slippery elm. And this is what I'll give to Tula when the coughing flares up. So for a 20-pound dog like Tula, I'm going to start with 1 teaspoon of our dark unpasteurized honey. Then I'm going to add in the equivalent of 1 400 milligram capsule of the slippery elm. Then add in a little bit of warm water, just enough so we can blend the slippery elm and the honey. And when they're well blended, you're going to see it's going to look a little bit viscous, almost like a little bit of a gelatinous mixture. That's going to coat her throat, and it just works so well for coughing, better than anything else I've tried. With the added fluid, this makes about 4 teaspoons. So for little Tula, I'm going to give her about a teaspoon 4 times a day. Typically when she's not on camera, she's going to lick it, as she is now. Most dogs really like the honey. So it's an easy way to treat your coughing dog, and you don't have to force something down their throat. So much better than giving them any of the conventional anti-cough medications. Number 2, anti-inflammatories. We want to decrease that inflammation. I'm going to show you 3 good anti-inflammatories to consider. The first one is propolis, also known as bee glue. It's a surprising, very effective anti-inflammatory. Also has some specific anti-cough properties. A really good option if we have a dog that has ongoing tracheal collapse. If you want to combine like one remedy, you had to pick one of all of them, I think I'd have you encourage you to consider propolis. Pretty standard dog dose, about 100 milligrams per 10 pounds of body weight daily. And this is something that you can safely give to your dog long term. These are 500 milligram capsules. I'd be giving Tula half a capsule once a day. But not every dog is going to respond to the propolis. Another good oral anti-inflammatory, been shown to be helpful for many of our dogs with tracheal collapse. Really great anti-inflammatory, 95% curcumin. There's substantial inflammation going on every time your dog's trachea collapses in on itself. Just imagine, he takes a breath in, it squishes together, whole bunch of tissue inflammation. 95% curcumin, it's been proven to be a very effective anti-inflammatory, also safe to give to our dogs long term. Standard doses of our bioavailable curcumin is 250 milligrams per 50 pounds of body weight daily. I'd be giving Tula a half to 1 capsule a day. The third really effective natural anti-inflammatory you should be considering is this, CBD or cannabidiol. It's been well used in our dogs, shown to be very safe, very effective as a natural pain control, also good natural anti-inflammatories. Standard dose, 3 milligrams per 10 pounds of body weight once or twice daily. That would equate to 1 drop of our supplement per 10 pounds daily. And this is something, if there's a flare-up, then add in the CBD. Add in the additional anti-inflammatory. Because what we're trying to do is help your dog cough less, but also take away all that acute inflammation. Another big benefit of the CBD that I find is little Tula here. Her dose is 3 milligrams per 10 pounds, so she's going to get 2 drops or 6 milligrams. She really likes CBD. So, as you can see, really easy to treat her. Isn't that good? And number 3, supplements that can help support and strengthen the cartilage. There's a bunch of pretty common ingredients that make up the cartilage, make it firm and rigid, so it doesn't become all soft and floppy like this. Some of these nutrients include glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, collagen. So many of the joint support supplements that we're giving our dogs potentially can also help strengthen your dog's cartilage. Glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, they are key parts of our joint support formula in all of our dog supplements. So for instance, here in Ultimate Canine Health Formula, key components of it, glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM. You're going to be giving therapeutic levels, 100 milligrams per 10 pounds daily of glucosamine, 50 milligrams per 10 pounds daily of chondroitin, 100 milligrams per 10 pounds daily of MSM. Those 3 ingredients, they're in those levels in Ultimate Canine Health Formula. Plus, as another added bonus, then consider this a specific collagen supplement. The rings of the trachea, that what gives them strength, they're specifically type 2 collagen fibers. So we know that there's a defect in these cartilaginous rings. It makes a whole bunch of sense to add in supplemental collagen. This stuff is the building blocks for the tracheal rings. It's a very safe supplement to give. You just want to make sure your dog doesn't have any digestive upset. This here is especially concentrated collagen. So 1 tablespoon is about 5,000 milligrams. Typical dog dose, about 1,000 milligrams per 20 pounds of body weight daily. Tula is about 20 pounds, means you need about 1,000 milligrams. And that will equate to this small amount, about a half a teaspoon. You just want to sprinkle that over top of your dog's food. But speaking from personal experience, I was taking collagen after I tore my Achilles tendon. Start with a small amount, because I took this 2 big tablespoons. More is even better. Didn't feel so good after. So, start out with maybe 1/4 teaspoon, sprinkling that into their canned food first, give them a few days to adapt. But if you've never tried collagen, you've got a dog with tracheal collapse, I want you to consider it. Then number 4, get your dog's liver checked. Many of the dogs that have tracheal collapse also have underlying liver disease. Something I didn't initially know in practice. There's some type of correlation, exactly like what's going on. The liver is so important for making all these key nutrients to help your dog's body function normally. So perhaps they have impaired liver function and they're not getting adequate nutrients. They don't have a normal functioning trachea. If blood tests reveal elevated liver enzymes like ALP, ALT, for instance, JGT, consider a good quality liver support supplement. One that includes milk thistle, one that includes SAMI, one that includes turmeric, one that includes dandelion root. The key takeaway for this last point, you've got a dog that's been diagnosed with tracheal collapse, ensure that there's additional blood tests going on, check your dog's liver function. And if they have impaired liver function, treat them for that, because you can reverse liver disease, and guess what? You may see you're able to reverse some of the signs and symptoms of tracheal collapse. Thanks so much for watching this edition of Veterinary Secrets, what to do for tracheal collapse in our dogs. Click up there to subscribe, hit the bell to sign up for notifications, and when you click that link directly in the box below, I can send you a copy of my free book.